Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is I, Bean Turtle, and I ran a poll a few days ago, or I ran a poll like a day ago or so, and I got an unbelievably overwhelming number of responses and the people, totally overwhelmingly, totally not 50-50 split out of two people voted for Hunter. So I decided to do a Hunter Lost Sector guide for today. This one's coming in a little late. Part of the reason is I was watching I was part of my friend's Twitch stream. We played some PlanetSide Lemony Wizard. Also, I've been not feeling too well today. But anyway, what we are doing today is the Extraction Lost Sector located on the Quagmire area, right where you spawn next to Finch. You go all the way across, jump off a little cliff, and there's the Lost Sector down here. Today we have Overload and Unstoppable champions because of mostly Scorn enemies. They're Hive at the end. We have an Arc Burn, Arc and Void Shield to deal with, and Raider Shield, which means that all of the dudes with the little crossbows, the Scorn dudes with crossbows, have Void Shield. So today, to deal with the mods, I've actually changed up what I normally do, mostly because I wanted the damage of a special weapon, and I am running Unstoppable Glaive and Overload SMG. Overload SMG, I am running Osteostriga. While Striga is not required, it is very good at AoE clears, lots and lots of kills. You have other options, though, of course, like a submission from the Vow of the Disciple raid, Multimac. Of course, there are several exotic SMGs. Striga just fits what I'm doing here. Next, the Enigma. Now, I'm using this for Unstoppable Glaive specifically, but it actually is very useful. So I discovered that not only is the Glaive Void, I could use it, of course, to pop the Void shields that are really annoying, but also the Overshield that you use when you do damage after you do damage with it is like really beefy. I'm talking like immortality beefy. Like I was standing in front of an unstoppable champion that was just beaming me, and I was taking no damage. So it is a really good, really strong shield. And if you guys remember how Unstoppable grenade launcher used to work, Anarchy would just have Unstoppable active the second you pull it out. You don't actually have to wait for it to charge like you do with a hand cannon or with Unstoppable scout rifle. It just works. So it's a really surprisingly good weapon to it. And to build into the arc burn, I am using my Hothead Adept with auto loading and Vorpal weapon. This Hothead has killed many champions for me and is done very well. But there are other options. You do not need to use Hothead, like Shining Sphere, for instance. I don't know if you've seen this, and other arc rockets just to get that 50% arc damage buff point in my mind. Also, fun thing, if you think Wardcliff is the answer, it's not. I tried it. It doesn't do much damage. I really don't know why. It's weird. Feels nerfed. And moving on from that, I am using an invisibility build because I found that the Lost Sector was incredibly oppressive on my Hunter. If I feel as though if I had access to Devour or the new Solar 3.0 builds on Warlock, I would be happier. But as a Hunter, I felt very squishy. So I'm running Vanishing Step, which dodging makes invisible. Pretty simple. Trapper's Ambush, activate Quick Fall, which is like a Shatter Dive type ability, and it'll proc your melee ability to make invisible and weakens enemies around you. But also, you can just throw your smoke grenade at the floor and make yourself invisible at any time that you have a melee charge. It's really nice. Echo of Persistence, void buffs and debuffs that are applied duration. Echo of Instability, getting grenade kills gives me volatile rounds for my void weapon. It's hard to use on a glaive, but it's extra damage. And Echo of Starvation, picking up an orb of power grants me Devour, which means that every kill I get after I pick up that orb gives me full health and grenade energy. I'm also running Gambler's Dodge to recharge my melee ability if I ever dodge next to an enemy, so that I get my smoke bomb back. So theory, what you do: throw a smoke grenade, be invisible for a while, dodge next to something, be invisible for a while, throw your smoke grenade, for invisible for another while. It's pretty nice. And then for the super, that's up to preference, but I am running Mobius Quiver for the burst damage to tear down the boss. For my exotic, I'm running Graviton Forfeit. It allows me to be invisible for about 10 seconds, and while I'm invisible, my melee charges faster. Your weapons reload faster, and recovery is greatly on my Graviton Forfeit. I am running Bountiful Wells, gain extra element well mods when I spawn them grenade. Ashes to Assets to gain better bonus super energy on my grenade kill. On my arms, of course, you got Unstoppable Glaive Overload SMG, and then Elemental Ordnance. You kill a combatant with your grenade, and it spawns an Elemental Well. It'll spawn a Void one, and I'm running several of those. I think I'm running a total of 3 Elemental Ordnance. On my chest piece, I have Armor of the Dying Star, which gives me solar and void damage resistance. There's a lot of void damage, and it's very oppressive. This helped out. And Concussive Dampener helps with AoE damage, so all of your boomer damage, pretty much anything that's considered a burn, so like little burn grenades are considered concussion damage, so that decreases that too. When I do get an Orb of Power, I have Absolution to give me ability energy for each ability once I pick up an orb. And on my cloak, I have Perpetuation and Distribution, both of which give me ability energy when I dodge near targets. Distribution gives me ability energy for everything. Perpetuation gives me class ability. And that is the build for today, but be sure before you start farming that you put on your Ghost Shell a Discipline armor or some, it doesn't have to be Discipline, but some armor mod that allows you to farm for a stat, because when you are farming for exotics here, you can, at least I believe, focus your armor just a little bit to increase your chances of getting what you want. Like for instance, I got Lucky Pants that had Discipline focused, and lo and behold, I got a higher Discipline roll. While this is not exactly what I'm looking for, I just wanted to mention that. So let's get right into it. Alright, so in this first room, just start shooting people with Striga. These guys are only a threat really when they throw their grenades, but in large numbers they can still, tear them down. It's a Legend Lost sector. But in a second, those raiders over there with all the void shields are really the target here. So nice, they're being all nice and togethery. That one is not cooperating, but yeah, just essentially take your glaive and just start shooting them. They'll get killed usually, and their shield broken in one shot. But sometimes they like survive their one shot and survive. Other times they cooperate. But yeah, now I'm going to take care of this guy. But I would actually normally recommend just taking out trash heads first. But I was fine with it. You can also abuse Invis like I was. Invis is really useful to do just about anything you want. And then make sure, of course, that as you go, you pick up your elemental wells that you spawn if you need them. They only give ability energy, but they are still really useful. So coming up here, you have to capture 3 plates. If you look at that little door-looking thing, there are 3 runes that correspond to these 3 plates. There's no specific order you have to do them in. It's not really a problem, but I recommend just being invisible, just sitting here. There's an unstoppable champion that's up on that middle plate. I usually kill him as like the first thing I do, but I don't see him at the moment, and he's busy doing the Lord's work and killing the enemies for the Scorn for me. So essentially, just don't die, and play around invisibility and just kind of ignore the fact that you're supposed to be doing a lost sector until you absolutely have to. Those arc shields, I do actually waste rockets on them. I know it's wasteful, but you don't actually need that many rockets. Alright, he's coming up to me. He's being all nice and happy. Hit him once with your glaive, 1 rocket, boom. I think that'll only happen, just so you know, just disclaimer, if you have Vorpal Weapon on your rocket, like mine. Hothead is not only the highest damage archetype of rocket launcher, but it is also has Vorpal Weapon, which gives it plus 15% on top of that. So your rocket might not one-shot, mine does, where mine would. So you might need to put a few extra glaive shots in, etc., etc. But yeah, I just pretty much sit here invisible. I mostly ignore these ads because, well, they're annoying, but also they don't really... It's much easier to deal with them when they're all together. So when they're all together here in a second, once I've captured all 3 plates, they are much less of a threat, and you can AoE them to the ground. Yes, once again I wasted a rocket on that knight. I will not be wasting a rocket on the next one, because I'm going to run out if I do. There are still 2 more champions to deal with. So I'm going to start capping this plate. Let's see, Striga is also really nice, because Striga lets me just kind of shoot in the general direction, and people will die, and then Scorn will die. It's really nice, because it'll track at range. Alright. Now that that is done, all of the enemies will mostly start to coalesce into the center here. Your job is to annihilate them once they start doing that. Now that they're here and being all nice and cooperative, you just shred them. Now that is the last Scorn you will see unless I missed something. Did I miss something? No, I didn't. I'm not gonna waste bullets on this knight. Waste rockets anyway. And now there are going to be 2 unstoppables. 1, 2. Don't know why he hasn't aggroed me, and probably shouldn't have wasted that. But see, they are still up there. They're gonna start hopping across. When they're jumping, you cannot stun them, but they won't break in this lost sector at least, which I think is kind of nice. I got a nice little double kill. There we go. And that angry looking dude over there is the boss. And he dropped a healing rift. That's nice. I'm just going to kind of annoy him for a second. And I'm going to move in. Tether once. Tether twice. I missed a shot. That's alright. I'll go invis because I don't want to die here. Do not forget about the ghost wall. Alright, and he's down. You don't have to do anything else in this entire room. Just ignore everything and get your loot. There you go. And today it is dropping leg armor if you do it on the dot. If you do it in the future, the drop will be different. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and please be sure to like and subscribe if it was. I make these guides pretty regularly. At one point I said daily, but then I got sick and stopped doing them, and so it must be a curse, so I'm not going to say that anymore. But I try to make them often, and I hope you'll join me for those as well. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.